Hi fellow viewers, we are Cotton Academy, and today we'll talk about Cotton series Victor and Valentino. This is the second part of the review, which refers to the second season of the series. If you haven't seen the first part of the review, check it out, and I apologize for my accent and for my English.
Once more, with feeling.
This season, like the previous one, is mostly filler. However, it does have some minor plot advancements and changes to the setting of the series. The filler episodes of the second season are really fundamentally different from the filler episodes of the first season, as the storyline of the season can be disassembled in more detail. In the second season, the World of Dead begins to play a greater role. It is explained that the ghost can live not in the World of the Dead, but in the ordinary world, if they have unfinished business. In the episode 1, Archie enchants Victor and Valentino's wrestling masks, so they can see the ghosts by wearing the masks. The episode 3, La Cucarachita, is a little sad episode about the death of the Victor's cockroach, which we had not even heard of before. In the episode 4, Lords of the Ghost Town, we see this group of ghosts named the same as the episode. In the episode 9, Kindred Spirits, we will first time see Dolores Del Rey. In the episode 28, Ghosted, Victor befriended Christina, and they began to do pranks together in the city. And we'll talk about the line of their relationship a little later. The season finale is a longer episode. Formally, it is divided into 4 parts. The length of the finale is quite consistent with this. But in fact, you will not see any obvious division for every 11 minutes. This episode is dedicated to Christina, and in it we'll meet the characters of episodes that I mentioned earlier. But before discussing it, let's get back to the acquaintance of Victor and Christina. Victor, as it was clear back in the first season, loves to prank. Christina is a ghost, and she can use her abilities to prank. The two characters began to prank together. In the same episode, Victor wanted to join the Tlatchtli team, and so the players from the team invited Victor to join. Victor was talking to Christina, and they, who couldn't see Christina, thought he was talking to an imaginary friend. Victor was very embarrassed by this, and then Victor just left Christina and went to play in the team. And later, Victor even told Christina that he did not want to be friends with her, who is a ghost. Then it turned out that the players did not want Victor to play with them, but only wanted Victor to help them with something.
Yeah, Reynaldo's out sick and we need someone to help us hydrate during the game.
Victor told Valentino about everything that happened.
And when my shot with the team didn't pan out, I tried to play with her like nothing happened. And she didn't want to.
And realized his mistake. Victor, hoping to make peace with Christina, shouted into a megaphone.
And she's cool, and I miss hanging out with her.
Christina returned, and they became friends again. And then through my mind suddenly flashed the thought that perhaps Christina should not be friends with Victor. He treated her very badly, he was very rude, and could mentally hurt her with his words. Christina will be better off without him. And this thought turned out to be true. The season finale will begin with Victor doing even worse to Christina. This line made an impression on me. It somehow even reminded me of BoJack Horseman. Season finale, Through the Nine Realms of Mictlan, begins with Christina telling Victor the news.
My family finished all our unfinished business in Monte Macabro, so we can finally go to Mictlan.
Victor should be happy for Christina, which Valentino understands.
I think what my brother means to say is, congratulations, Christina.
But Victor treasures his friendship with Christina and does not want her to go to the World of Dead forever, after which they will not see each other. The ghost train that took Christina's family to Mictlan was supposed to arrive at a specific time. Therefore, Victor, with the help of tricks, plays for time and delays Christina so that she misses the train. In Victor's understanding, Christina was supposed to stay in the city and continue to be friends with him. Christina is very upset that she was late, and she doesn't know that Victor detained her on purpose, unlike Valentino.
I know what you did. This is unbelievable.
When I watched the beginning of the episode where Victor did all this, I was so angry with him. I really wanted to beat this jerk. So, the creators of the series know how to impress and make you dislike the character. Well done, really. Victor and Valentino steal Sal's shell to teleport themselves and Christina to Mictlan with it, but they don't get on on the platform where Christina's family was, and then they're caught by Mick and Han. Mick and Han send all 3 characters to the first level of the World of Dead. They have to go through 8 levels of the World of Dead with various dangerous tests. I will not analyze them in detail, but I will note that in the process the main characters met ghosts that we met early in the season. I specifically listed them earlier. All of them will play a role in overcoming the levels, including these make the season a little less filler. The climax of the season finale takes place on the 8th level of the World of Dead, that is, on the last test. Mick and Han themselves appear. They arrange a quiz with various questions. Points are awarded to the team for correct answers. They need to score 100 points. The team answers correctly each time. I don't know what would have happened if they answered incorrectly. Maybe the game would just have continued. Or maybe Mick and Han just always said the answer was right, where it was. As far as I am guessing, they didn't set up a quiz to test the characters in any way. The quiz was created for the last part, and it in turn for the last question. In this last part, Mick and Han begin to ask Victor various questions about Christina, and these questions test how well Victor knows Christina. Victor answers questions mechanically one after another, and suddenly Mick and Han ask,
Who tricked Christina into missing the train to paradise with her family?
Victor happily talks about his terrible deed in front of Christina, who considered him her friend. It's a hard scene to watch.
I take it back. I didn't do it.
So, since you took back your answer, we'll take back our points.
Mick and Han announce that since the quiz is over, the characters will now have to take a physical test. In the process of it, a conversation takes place between Victor and Christina about Victor's act.
I didn't realize.
Really? Huh? You didn't realize?
What I didn't like about the season finale is that Victor never directly apologized to Christina. This problem generally confuses me a lot there in the series. At the end, Victor is asked to choose.
Or will you and all your friends go on?
Victor chooses Mictlan. Technically, it's like dying for him and Valentino. This way, Victor partially redeems himself. In the episode's finale, all the ghosts from the team rejoice at their arrival in Mictlan, including Christina being reunited with her family. Mick and Han allow Victor and Valentino to return to the world of living. Happy end. By the way, since I mentioned sending to Mictlan after death, am I the only one getting annoyed by Worlds of Dead in cartoons? Firstly, there should be really a lot of dead people. There shouldn't be enough time for 2 main ones in this world to keep track of everyone. Secondly, the presence of life in Mictlan after death devalues death somewhat. In theory, Victor and Valentino can at any time go to the world of dead to anyone they miss. Especially since Mick and Han specifically allowed them in the end of the episode.
And you're welcome back in the 9th whenever you please.
In general, here you can come up with much more logical and moral questions. This was the main storyline of the entire season, which I analyzed for each individual event. However, the season also has several secondary storylines. Let's go over each of them briefly. We will see that comes out bad from the first season again, and in another episode it will become Victor's pet. We will again meet the former leader of the kids from season 1 episode 5 Legend of the Hidden Skate Park. We learn that Tootsie Bird is also not just a bird. In the episode 15 Los Payaros, everyone will give gifts to Itzy, but Valentino will be against it.
Personal value? To a bird?
Actually, it seems to me personally that Valentino thinks very rationally during the episode.
Oh, I don't believe in luck. Good things happen with hard work, and bad things happen when you're being careless. I can't lose sight of logic. Just because I've experienced some atypical birds doesn't mean all the birds in town are out to get me.
And he has the right to not give Itzy anything. This, of course, is otherwise about theft. Valentino shouldn't have done this. In general, the episode raises interesting, complicated questions.
Hard work is important, but you shouldn't discount the importance of random chance.
And this is impressive, even if I, as a staunch atheist and opponent of traditionalism, do not agree with the moral of the episode. In the episode 20, Folk Art Friends, which named after the first episode of the show, Folk Art Force, Victor and Valentino will accidentally break 3 alebrijes. To catch released spirits, they will release Weva to help them. They did everything so we can easily catch him back in the alebrije, but in the end, after catching our spirits, he still managed to escape. The episode 21, the Cupcake Man, matters for Victor's line of becoming a little better. By the way, you won't believe it, but after 21st episode, 23rd immediately goes on. There is simply no 22nd episode in the season. In the first part of the review, I mentioned scary filler episodes. So, the episode 32, The Note Seekers, is a particularly disgusting and unpleasant episode to watch. I don't know why the creators added it. The third season will be less filler, and the second season is already preparing the plot for it. For example, we will still be told more about Sal in the episode couple 11-12, Journey to Maze Mountain. And we will be hinted that Sal is not so simple, and he is pretty mysterious.
Who is he?
Just a weird guy.
In episodes 30 and 35, Victor and Valentino will again confront Tess. The episode 35 finale hints that Tess will play a big role in the third season. At the end of this episode, Tess appears to be getting more magical powers from someone we can't see. In the episode 18, Starry Night, we will see the Mimes, which we already met in the first season in the episode Another Dawn. We will learn more about the Mimes. The line of relationship between Victor and Charlene will continue, but nothing will change in it compared to the first season. From the episode 10, Decoding Valentino begins the romantic line between Valentino and Isabella. In the future, we will often see how Valentino, who is usually correct, behaves very badly towards Isabella, and this can already be seen from this episode. Isabella is very smart. Valentino and Isabella go to some abandoned temple with puzzles. Isabella solves them better than Valentino, and Valentino begins to complex. He takes offense, yells, and endangers lives of himself and Isabella. Both storylines of Tess confrontation and Valentino plus Isabella ship will get a lot of screen time in the third season. Also, I for a long time had a suspicion that the episodes were released out of order. For example, in the episode 15, Los Payaros, we will see Guillermo's girlfriend, and in the episode 17, Guillermo's girlfriend, she will be introduced to us and to the main characters. In the episode 19, Fuego Fest, it will be mentioned that Victor has some skill in making cupcakes.
You said you knew Cupcake Man's recipe!
And the episode 21 will be called The Cupcake Man, and Victor will learn how to make cupcakes. Or let's jump back into the first season. In the episode 24, Laugh at First Bite, we will see a cat cafe, which in the episode 37, Catpocalypse, will be opened by Pineapple. It's ironic, as I told you in the last video, that first, in the episode 4, Chata's Quinta Quinceañera, we will see Sal for the first time, and in the episode 25, Go With The Flow, the boys will befriend him. I praised the cartoon for the fact that the episodes are connected, but maybe I was wrong. Listen.
Sal!
Hey, little buddies!
It seems that they already know each other. Maybe the episode 25 should be earlier. Although
Sal!
production codes have appeared on Wikipedia relatively recently. By the way, the fandom website shows our production codes in general, as if someone just combined the season number with the episode number. If you go to the codes in Wikipedia and sort the episodes by these codes, then Guillermo's girlfriend does indeed come before Los Payaros, and the Cupcake Man comes before Fuego Fest. But both plot holes from the first season remain, even if you sort the episodes by production codes. And also, one of the episodes of the first season was never aired. The second season is still quite filler, but it already has a cross-cutting plot. It is the episodes of this plot that produce the greatest emotional impression, which is expected. These are the relationship between Victor and Christina, the relationship between Valentino and Isabella, the confrontation with Tess, and some other particularly interesting episodes. The moral of the cartoon is still useful and almost never destructive. If you haven't seen the first part of the review yet, it's not too late to watch it. The review for the last, third season will take 3 parts. This season will finally have a lot of cross-cutting plot. Write your comments below the video, especially if you have your own thoughts on the topic of the second season and of my video. I need your feedback. If you liked the video, then I suggest you consider the option of like and subscription. Goodbye everyone.